Festival of the Lost 2020, of course, is now upon us in Destiny 2. In today's video, we're going to be doing the ultimate guide to everything that you need to know about this year's event. I do want to apologize though that this video has come out a bit late. Whenever Festival of the Lost first launched, there was a few issues concerning Cipher Decoders, and Bungie has since hotfixed them. I didn't want to rush out a video right off the get-go because I didn't want my information to pretty much immediately be outdated once the video comes out, so I decided to wait, and it looks like this is how Festival of the Lost is going to be going from now until the end, so the guide is now here. Before we do jump into it, I'm going to go and show you guys a huge list of timestamps on screen for specific information if that is what you are looking for, but of course if you have never ran Festival of the Lost or you're looking to learn pretty much everything about it, then feel free to watch the whole video. I definitely will not stop you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, and let's talk about how first you get involved in this event. Head on over to the tower and talk to Ava Levante. She will give you the Masquerader's helmet, and this is essentially a mask item that you'll be using for the rest of this event. It's going to come with 6 mod energy and has a final mod slot for one of 3 Haunted Forest mods that will greatly increase your performance inside the Haunted Forest. Figure out which one you like the most and go ahead and slap it on. Now, as you earn masks throughout this event, you can also go on down to the appearance tab of the Masquerader's helmet and choose these masks from there. So instead of having an inventory convoluted with a ton of masks, you basically have this one central item that you can change the look of with the mask that you unlock. Now, Ava Levante, after giving you this mask, is going to give you a quest line. It's going to ask you to head on down to the Tangled Shore and talk to Spider, and he's going to give you a mini quest concerning the new Cipher Decoders. It's going to say that you need to complete either a Gambit, Crucible, or Strike match, but really you can just walk out the front door and complete a patrol, and you're immediately going to be given a Cipher Decoder. Now, once acquiring the Cipher Decoder, you're ready to head on over into the Haunted Forest. So head on over to the tower, select the icon at the top, and you're good to go. Now, the Haunted Forest basically works like this. You're going to have these things called branches. Each branch is going to consist of a phase of running through the forest and killing enemies to get to 100%, and the next phase is going to be killing a boss to get to the next branch. The more branches that you clear, the more chocolate strange coins and candy you'll earn from the free chest at the end, and of course these can be used for buying different cosmetics from Ava Levante. Now, regular enemies are going to give you the least amount of progress, while Daemon enemies will give you the most when reaching 100%, and you will have to be killing these Daemon enemies to progress from one area to another if you see that the door is red. You're also going to find these bonus chests scattered throughout the forest that will contain a small amount of chocolate strange coins and candy, but I would give them little attention as you're better off completing more branches, as the more that you complete, the more of those chocolate strange coins and candy you'll end up getting. Now, for me personally in the Haunted Forest, my go-to loadout is going to be shotguns, SMGs, swords, grenade launchers, and xenophage. Yes, xenophage is its own category. Now, once you finish a Haunted Forest run, you'll be met with a free chest giving you loot based off the branch completions, as well as 5 bonus chests that will only open with Cipher Decoders. These chests will contain the Festival of the Lost exclusive Braytech Werewolf and Horror Story auto rifles, as well as a bunch of shaders and last year's masks for you to collect if you do not already have them. By opening upwards of 45 Cipher Decoder chests, you'll also have unlocked all the exotic cosmetics that are sold by Ava, which require the completion of the chest open triumphs, as well as a secret item that we'll be talking about towards the end of the video. Now, before we go into how to farm out these Cipher Decoders, I do want to mention the history behind these, as when Cipher Decoders first launched with Festival of the Lost, they were pretty convoluted. People were playing for hours and only getting around 1 to 2 after a ton of grinding, and since then Bungie has put out 2 buffs concerning the Cipher Decoders. One of these tweets, they even said that they're going to be adjusting the drop rates to give you 2 every single time that they drop, and that the only activities where you're unable to earn them is Gambit, Forges, and non-playlist strikes, which I find really weird seeing as Spider asked you to play Gambit in the quest line. pretty much showing you that Gambit is going to give them to you, but I digress. So now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about how you can farm these Cipher Decoders. Now, one of my favorite ways on getting my hands on these is actually Nightfall speedruns on the Adept or the Hero difficulty. Both of these have matchmaking, but I definitely suggest that you get a friend to play with you. But you can do this specific week's Nightfall in around 5 minutes 30 seconds or 6 minutes 30 seconds. You can practically run past almost every enemy in the strike, and once you get to the end, I've noticed it's around an 80 to 85% chance that you are guaranteed Cipher Decoders, and if you run on the Hero difficulty, you can even get exotics to drop for you while you're doing it. Do keep in mind that this specific week is going to be double Nightfall loot, and that is probably why these drop rates are so good. You can also farm heroic story missions, and currently you can farm Shadow and Ice, which basically involves you only killing 2 enemies the entire mission, and you do have a pretty decent chance on getting Cipher Decoders. And lastly, Nightmare Hunts are a pretty great way to farm these, as they are extremely quick activities where you just rush to the boss, kill it, and you're already done. Of course, all of these, aside from the heroic story missions, are really good with friends, but honestly, with Festival of the Lost lasting so long, I personally wouldn't recommend farming these out, as you'll naturally get plenty just by playing the game, especially with the buffs that they've implemented. Me personally, I find farming these to be extremely boring, so I've just been playing the game normally, outside of getting footage for this here specific video. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Braytech and the Horror Story auto rifles. Now that you got a ton of Cipher Decoders, let's talk about the Braytech Werewolf and the Horror Story, since you're definitely going to be getting them with the amount of ciphers that are dropping. If you're having any trouble whatsoever getting a good roll of either of these auto rifles, because let's face it, the amount of perks on those weapons that you can actually get them to roll with is pretty ridiculous, you may be happy to know that you can easily get the masterworked or curated versions of these weapons straight from your collections, and these actually have some really good perks that come with them. The only requirement for you to really get your hands on these is to at least get it to drop for you once at the end of the Haunted Forest. So if you guys are trying to get a really good roll in these weapons, and you may not already know this, you can get the curated versions of these weapons just by copping them straight from the collections. But if you would like to grind these out, I definitely recommend that you should if you do have the time, as the archetype of these auto rifles isn't currently good, but we may be seeing a buff to these auto rifles coming in the upcoming sandbox changes that was announced by Bungie for a future TWAB. Now, moving on from there, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Bright Dust. The next thing I'd like to mention is the extra Bright Dust that is earnable during this event. Ava Levante brings 2 extra weekly bounties per week to go along with the 6 other across the Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit per character. This means you're able to get not 3,600 Bright Dust across all characters a week, but instead 4,800 Bright Dust. With this event lasting a month, you're able to get a ton of the event cosmetics completely free, as long as you're willing to put in the work. I really wanted to highlight this here, as getting this extra Bright Dust from Ava Levante is fantastic. The full sets of armor that you can get, the universal ornaments, cost 6,000 Bright Dust, and the fact that you can get 4,800 per week and you have 4 weeks to do this, you can get plenty of cosmetics completely free without needing to fork over real money. I highly suggest that you take advantage of this, as the ones that Ava give are honestly really easy. Now, moving on from this, I want to talk about the Epic Mystery Bag. So now that you've probably gotten all of your Cipher Decoders and opened all your chests and probably gotten most of what the event has to offer, may I now turn your attention to the Epic Mystery Bag that Ava sells. Now, if you're just starting out Festival of the Lost, do not purchase this at all, as you're gonna need your candy and your chocolate strange coins for the other things within the event. But if you're someone who's already done most everything and you want some free bonus rewards, you're able to get engrams, enhancement cores, and I've even gotten prisms from these bags. Might as well use up your resources for some extra goodies instead of nothing at all. I definitely recommend opening as many of these as possible towards the end of the event, probably on the last week, whenever you have a ton of candy and a ton of these strange coins, because honestly, there's no reason not to. Now, speaking of cosmetics, I do want to mention this emblem that you see on your screen right here. If you've been seeing this emblem around the community and you're wondering how to get your hands on it, I gotcha. Now, this is a hidden reward from the Festival of the Lost that is actually given to you for completing the starter quest that we discussed earlier at the beginning of the video. It's a reward that's given from this quest, but why don't you already have it? Well, you actually need to go to bungie.net/rewards and claim it from there. I'll leave a link in the description to make things a bit easier for you, but this of course is the Shadehallow emblem. I don't know why Bungie implements these extra steps to get your hands on it, but bungie.net/rewards, link in the description. Maybe check out a few other links down there, but go there and you're actually able to claim this emblem from there. And like I said, all you got to do is the basic starter quest. Now, the last thing for the ultimate guide of Festival of the Lost is the Ascendant Lens secret item. Once you have opened all 45 Cipher Decoder chests, meaning that you have earned all 3 of the cosmetics that Ava Levante is giving away for candy, and you've went ahead and turned in those triumphs, an icon's actually going to appear on the Tangled Shore telling you to go to Spider, and talking to him is going to grant you the Ascendant Lens. Currently, it shows up in your inventory and is in a new Collectibles tab, but has no purpose as of yet. So, as we all know, Festival of the Lost this year was supposed to come out after Beyond Light released. A little bit unfortunate for this year's event, as there has been a bit of convolution with the Cipher Decoders, and this Ascendant Lens right here probably would have otherwise had a purpose, whereas right now, it doesn't really do too much of anything. A bit unfortunate for this year's event, as this wasn't supposed to be the main piece of content, but seeing as we're all waiting for Beyond Light and not playing this alongside Beyond Light, this is the main piece of content. So make sure to take everything, Festival of the Lost related with a grain of salt. This event really honestly isn't all that serious. I wouldn't really stress out about getting all these Cipher Decoders and getting all these God rolls and being super grindy about it. Me personally, the best way to get enjoyment out of this event is to take all the information that I gave you today, make sure to apply it, and just kind of relax and chill, Play the game normally. Whenever you get around 5 Cipher Decoders, jump into the Haunted Forest, do one run, open all the chests, and hop right back out, and just kind of repeat it from there. Do your normal activities that you've been doing leading up to Beyond Light, whether that be prep or catching up, and just enjoy the event for what it is. Me personally, I think the coolest part of the event is the cosmetics that you can get for Bright Dust, and that's pretty much all I've really viewed it as, at least thus far. But guys, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please let me know in the comments if you guys did like this guide, or if there's anything that I can do to improve this style of video for you all. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly do appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time.